trying that shit on me. 'Cause I still can't sleep without medication, and I let my thoughts run wild while I still think I got one, and I care too much about my reputation, and I'm tired of sleeping on this floor.
Hey everyone, this is Anthony with Interviews at Everyday People. This is the start of my new little at-home quarantine thing. This won't air for a while yet because I have a pretty nice backlog of episodes. But for the next, from here out, you're going to hear just a lot of this is over the phone. So be mindful. You know, sometimes you're going to hear some interviews from here on out that are going to be a little. Maybe not the internet connection drops out because everybody and their brother is on the internet at this point in time, being home. But today we're going to be talking to Jordan Miller. I got that right?
Yes, you did.
All right, because some people put their first and last name on Facebook and it's not their actual maybe last name, so I just always double check that as well. You actually might have heard an interview I did with Jordan way back when we were at Culture to Culture. We sat down and talked to Jordan. He told us a little bit about the stuff he's been through and some of the struggles he went through. So we're going to get a little bit of an update on Jordan, and then who knows where it's going to go from there, right?
Right.
All righty. So Jordan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Jordan. I'm 26 years old. My birthday is actually tomorrow.
All right.
And
well, tomorrow would be April 19th, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So, 'cause like I said, this will air a little further out, so we definitely know when so we can give the people a time lapse at how long out we've been recording. All right, go ahead.
So, I mean, with this COVID-19, it's been putting a damper on a lot of things that I've been doing, such as the volunteer fire company. I'm a volunteer firefighter. I've been doing this since I was 17, but I grew up around it with my uncle, my two uncles being firefighters, one being an assistant chief for a county company, and then my one uncle was a firefighter for the city of Reading. And so I thought, you know what, my dad was a firefighter, my two uncles were firefighters, and my one brother was a firefighter. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's now my turn. Now I have to fulfill this. Yeah. And I've been now doing this since the age of 17, and I'm with the current fire company I'm with. I've been there 5 years, and this October would be 6 years.
Awesome.
And thank you. So, I mean, I thank all of the brothers and sisters out there that put their lives out in the line there too. And I mean, they don't take a break. We don't take a break. But with my mental health, I can honestly say it doesn't stop me from anything, even at the fire company. But they can honestly help me. They help me. They tell me, like, hey, they know my limits, and they help me through my limits, which is awesome. Mm-hmm.
Now, do you want to give us a little?
Honestly say,
do you want to give us a quick rundown of maybe some of the things how you're kind of talking about a little bit of some struggles and challenges you go through?
Sure. So like there are times where I know how to read, but there are times where I don't know how to like pronounce the words or read the full sentence, and then sometimes it may make sense to me or it may not, and then I ask my chief or somebody, hey, what does this mean? And they actually explain it to the best of my ability, and sometimes I don't understand it still, and then I say, hey, can you explain it a little bit better? And they explain it, and it's like, oh, okay, now I get it.
So you would say maybe you have some maybe like a learning disability.
Correct.
Okay.
When I was in school, I personally feel like I was rushed through.
Yeah.
which is horrible to say, but that's how I felt and how I feel currently. I was placed in emotional support when I was in 7th grade, and which I thought was great. And then 8th grade, I was put into a different classes, which was life skills. And then from 8th grade to my senior year of high school, I was in life skills, also known as special education. And what really upset me is 2 days before I graduated, my teacher said to me, you shouldn't have been in life skills, you should have been in emotional support. And I looked at him and I said, what is that supposed to mean? And he said, you were too advanced for our classroom, we should have put you in emotional support. So I was like, oh, okay, thanks. Why didn't you guys do this before? So that's my education background.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing like being told, hey, you should have been in different classes until you're about to graduate.
Yeah.
But
they're kind of like saying to you, like, hey, we kind of let you down. We're sorry. Have fun in the real world now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, really. And so now I'm like learning different things on my own. And I can honestly say it's like, holy crap, I wish I would have learned this when I was in school. But my biggest strong point of school was history. I loved history. I couldn't do science. I would either slack off in science or I could never follow through with it, except for when it came to astronomy. Astronomy I was always intrigued by too. That's the only thing I liked in science. But what was really cool is when I graduated high school, I can honestly say it was really cool. I got my diploma, shook the hands with the superintendent, and I was really proud of myself. I got my diploma, I got my my report card in the mail, and I made the high honor roll, and it made me feel really proud of myself. Got my diploma, and then getting that. I mean, my senior year, I got honor roll, and then highest honor roll, and I was really proud of myself. But at the same time, I was kind of disappointed in myself because it was like, okay, I did all this work, and then, like I said, 2 days before, you're being told, hey, you should have been in emotional support. And what emotional support is where they are advanced and they teach you more higher functioning people with special needs. So it's like, oh, well, that would have been cool. But no, other than that, and then I went into college for a little bit. I was learning how culinary arts, and I would always, when I was little, I was always watching my mom and dad how to cook. And the best way to learn how to cook, I mean, my mom and dad would always try to trick me. They would always say, okay, here, let's watch TV while we're cooking. But it's like I would always turn the TV off and we would listen to Italian music because of being part Italian. We would listen to Italian music or Irish music, and we would listen to this stuff. And if I messed up the recipe, you wouldn't hear the end of it. But if you made the recipe just the way it was, you would never hear the end of it too, because it was either A, good, or B, bad. And it was always so good.
Nice.
And,
so is that something you do now for like one of your hobbies or things that you're trying to pursue yourself into, is culinary arts?
Actually, no. I actually don't do culinary. I mean, I cook still, yeah. But my goal in life is actually, there's 2 goals I have, but I'll get into that one then. But one of the biggest goals I have is actually to be a peer specialist. What a peer specialist is somebody with a mental health diagnosis, and he or she tries to match up with somebody that he or she is compatible with that has the same mental health issues or challenges with that person, and they mentor them and they help them through their mental health issues as well. And that's what I want to do. I met my peer specialist, and then I actually met my peer specialist's boss at one point, and his name, it's a really cool thing. And I saw one of my peer specialists got his first peer specialist job, and it was really cool. And I am so honored to meet those two people, and it's so cool, so cool.
Now, have you taken any of the steps to start that process?
Actually, I can't right now, I don't think, because I was just recently hospitalized, which kind of stinks. But you know what? My health comes first.
Absolutely.
But what I'm going to do is take care of me, and you know what? Eventually, I will do it, and I promise this. I will do my two goals in life, and that is become a peer specialist, and then my second goal is, and I promise I know I could do this because I'm studying this really hard, and I know I could do it, is to solve President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Those are my two goals in life right now.
You want to solve the
JFK? Correct.
Awesome.
And I've been watching videos on it and reading books about it.
What are your theories?
So my theory is the final shot that got President Kennedy, what didn't come from behind. If you ask me, I think it came from the front. Because if you go on YouTube, you can watch a clip of a home video of the guy named Abraham Zapruder, and he got the video of President Kennedy being assassinated. And he's the one that got the video of him being assassinated. And he actually was told that he had to turn in the film, but they told him he can keep the original film, but then they asked him if they can have a copy of it, in which he gave them a copy. And his camera is actually on display down in Washington, D.C. Well, his video camera.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I did see that as well. Yeah, that's all really fascinating stuff there. Now, what do you do? Do you work or anything now, or do you just kind of what are you doing with this whole quarantine?
I'm basically going to my programs, which is called Threshold down in Reading, Pennsylvania, and I also go to another program that is called Hope Springs Clubhouse, which is also for young youth and adults, for people with mental health. And they help you either find a job, which is through Hope Springs, they help you find a job or get into colleges, or they help you with your goals. And so there's a goal that I'm working on is actually reading body language, because like I said, I'm starting to learn different things, and body language is number one. And then my second goal is to have assertive communication. You don't want to have aggressive assertive communication, because you don't get anywhere in life when you do that, because it's not good. But when you have proper assertive communication, that's when you get more. And my third goal is to associate with my colleagues in the program. And so, like, sometimes I have trouble talking and have trouble associating with people. And so I basically try talking more than I normally do.
Yeah.
And sometimes I struggle with it.
Can you kind of like, so people who are listening who like for me example, like I communication is not something I have an issue with. So when I hear people saying like I have an issue with that, can you kind of like describe in your best words of what are some of your barriers that you go through with that?
Sure. So like sometimes, like when I talk to somebody, I go quiet right away,
Mm-hmm.
or I talk too much, and sometimes I overstep people in talking, and I don't mean to. Or sometimes I like when I talk, I'll give one word answers like, yeah, okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll stop talking, and then I'll walk away from somebody. And it's not that I mean to do it to you guys, and girls and ladies and gentlemen. It's just the way my mental health is, and
Yeah.
I'm not using that as a crutch. Please don't think I am.
Yeah, no.
It's just the way I was brought up, and it's like, oh crap. And now that I'm a lot older, I can honestly say that I'm working on that, and it's getting better.
Fantastic. So now, a lot of the things that I've been hearing, like a lot of people that have issues with this, with the lockdown and stuff, has been mental health issues being on the rise. They're saying with this whole COVID-19 kind of being stuck in the house and stuff like that. Has that been something that you've been struggling with?
I can honestly say yes and no. I've been going to my programs, like I said, Threshold and the Hope Springs Clubhouse, or sometimes I'll just sit outside or sit in my room and just write stories,
Mm-hmm.
or play my Nintendo Switch.
What games have you been playing?
I've been playing Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered or NBA, the NBA series.
Oh, nice. I've been playing a lot of the Animal Crossing.
I was going to ask, how is that? It looks kind of interesting.
All right, so if I describe this game, it's going to sound like the boringest game of all time. But pretty much what you do is you just do chores every day. Like your whole mission is to try to build up your island. So it's a game that you cannot beat in one day. Like it's a repetitive game. So you have to go on and do at least so much stuff every day. Like go on and tend flowers or cut down trees or plant trees and locate houses and do what you're like, kind of do chores. I know it sounds stupid, but it's super addicting.
You know what? I might have to get that game. It sounds like a good game for me. I would have to try that.
Yeah.
And,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been doing. I'm gaming a lot, and then I took like 2 or 3 weeks off because I was kind of going through the whole like, oh, this sucks. I'm losing out content for the podcast, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start doing them over the phone. So today is kind of like the I was supposed to do one yesterday, but I kind of had some family issues arise and some stuff going on where I just felt like I wasn't in the right mindset to do it. So today's like the first day where I'm gonna really start grinding out. So I have you scheduled for now, and then later on tonight I have an interview. Then I have 2 tomorrow. Then I have 2 on Monday. I'm doing 1 on Tuesday, and then our normal scheduled show. So the 2 shows I'm doing like pretty much every single day from now till I think the 30th. I'm doing like 2 shows a day just to kind of keep myself busy and
nice.
and create content and talk to people. I'm trying to if I can't go out and meet people, I'll just do it this way.
Very nice.
Yeah. So we learned a little bit about your goals and some of your struggles. Has any of your mental health issues or your disabilities affected you in social standards? Like, has it ever gotten you any situations?
Well, yeah, I can honestly say, like, just recently, I had surgery, and like when I have surgery and I come out of anesthesia, I'm starting to realize I say things that I don't mean, and it was funny. This is where it was kind of funny, but kind of like, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah.
So 4 weeks ago, I had surgery, and the nurse asked me, Jordan, how'd you get here today? And I said, on my camel. And she's like, huh? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, on my camel. She goes, really? I'm like, yeah, it's a 5-speed. And I said some things after that, and they were laughing. And I said, don't laugh at me. And then I started crying. And then
you got a little emotional.
Yeah. And then I was staying with a friend, and him and I, we didn't see eye to eye on things, and we kind of got into heated arguments already, and things went wonky there. And he said something, and I went into seeing red, black, blue, and then all of a sudden I saw black. And all I remember is just snapping out of it, and all I saw was me just in my room with a door barricaded. And I can honestly say, with me being quarantined and me being tied up and couldn't do anything because of surgery, I would take my meds one day. I would take my morning meds, and then at nighttime I wouldn't take my nighttime meds. And then one day I would take my nighttime meds, and then I wouldn't take my morning meds.
So you're off kilter a little bit.
Yeah, and then I would also drink alcohol.
Ooh,
and
not good.
It was pretty bad. I would do it heavily. I would drink 2 bottles of wine, and I would kill the bottles. And then after that, I would be done, and then I'd go upstairs and just crash. And then the next night, I would be smoking cigarettes. And the sad thing is, I quit. I haven't done that stuff since 2017, and it really knocked me around.
Yeah.
But now I haven't touched it since, like I said, since 2 weeks ago.
Nice, good. Well, that's good for you. I think maybe with the stuff you're taking and your, this is not me. I'm just coming from just like an outside standpoint. Maybe like you're still learning your mind and learning your temper, or learning some the mental side of things, or your emotional side of things. And I think maybe adding the alcohol and everything else is just probably not a good idea.
And also, I moved out of where I was at, and I can honestly say that helped too.
Yeah. Awesome. So what else are you kind of into? Like when you're on your own, what are some things you're a fan of, or you enjoy doing? Or, you know, you said you are a gamer a little bit, but is there anything else is kind of your relief, or your stress relief, or you can go there and kind of unwind with?
I also am a sports fanatic. I love playing football. I love watching football.
Who's your team?
Tennessee Titans are my favorite team.
Oh, the Titans. Okay.
Yep, the Tennessee Titans. My favorite hockey team, the Nashville Predators.
Okay.
For baseball, the Miami Marlins. And for NBA, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Memphis Grizzlies.
Wow. You're all over the place. How did you land all those teams as your favorite? Because usually a lot of people are like, oh, I went to a game and became a fan, or I live in this state, so this team has become my favorite.
Growing up watching these players, and they grew on me, and then when they got traded or when they went into free agency, I just stood by the team. Or where I'm not one of those where they had to go, they went to this team and now I have to stay with them and that's who I like.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. I like that player, but I just don't like that team.
Yeah.
It's just, for an example, I mean, I liked the Nashville Predators since 1999, but I know because I was very little when they came out, and because I didn't know who they were in 1998, but when I was in 1999, that's when I started really liking them, because that's when they got their start in the league in 1998. And then for the Miami Marlins, I mean, I liked when Josh Beckett played for them, Miguel Cabrera, Derek Lowell, Carlos Delgado, Ivan Rodriguez, and then Giancarlo Stanton. Nice. And Christian Yelich.
Yeah, I'm not a baseball guy, so a lot of these names, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know any of them. Yeah, I don't follow a lot of baseball.
No, I mean, that's okay. But my other favorite sport is professional wrestling. I was on the wrestling team when I was in school.
Mm-hmm. Well, professional wrestling and high school
my
wrestling
favorite-
are kind of little out of the same league, but I definitely get where there's a little correlation there.
Yep. Yeah, my favorite wrestling show now, and I mean, I'm glad The Undertaker came back as a biker. I really am. That made his character revive again, which is really cool. I think he needed that because he's been the dead man since 2004, and he kind of needed a refresh.
Do you listen to
wrestling show?
Do you listen to our show, Tornado Tag Podcast?
Not yet, but I have to check it out.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. I think you'll really like it. Our newest episode. Well, I know, like I said, people listening back to this, they're gonna be way behind. But the latest episode that just came out, we talk about all the people who got cut, and then we talk about where we think they're gonna go and stuff. So I'm really proud of that episode. I thought it was a really good one. But we have a good staff of people who are on the show, and I think they're pretty educated. And we have 2 people who are actually wrestlers that are on the show with us. So it's I think you'll enjoy it. You should check it out.
Will do. And I was actually training to be a professional wrestler down in my area.
Oh, nice. Where at?
It's called the Dungeon with Mark Mess.
Okay, yeah.
Good old Mark.
Yeah, they do.
Mark.
They have a promotion that I go to a lot, and I been getting content with them is Outbreak Wrestling. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Mark's a good guy.
Yes, he is. He's a really humble guy. He's willing to train and willing to help you. He's very nice, and I have nothing bad to say about him and his brother Troy. They're two great people.
I agree. Yeah, they're very very cool people. So what? So you said you're a WWE guy, right?
Actually, no, not anymore. I'm actually more of a AEW guy.
Oh, you jumped ship.
Yep.
Awesome. What about AEW? Do you like?
I actually like that they're young yet, and they're bringing in a lot of good people. It's like I was surprised when I saw Jake the Snake Roberts. I was like, "Oh, that was pretty cool."
Yeah. Who's your favorite?
My favorite.
Who's your favorite? Some of your favorite talent right now?
I really like Sammy Guevara. He's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jericho, by far.
He's the GOAT.
Yes, he is. I also like Jake Hager.
He doesn't do much for me, but
Orange
like
Cassidy.
I can definitely see how people like Jake Hager.
He's very funny too.
Yeah.
John Moxley, I like too. He's one of the WWE GOAT, as I call him, from AEW.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're gonna consider anyone the WWE GOAT to that show, it's definitely Jericho. I mean, Jericho, he's been in WWE a lot longer than Moxley has.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about backyard wrestling GOAT, that's John Moxley right there too.
Yeah, he was like a death match guy, but those type of matches don't do anything for me. Something about watching a guy take a razor blade and bleed all over the place. Sign me. I'll avoid those shows all day long. I'm not a fan of that stuff.
Yeah, I would love just to see and just to kind of see this, but I don't think they'll do it. But I'd be surprised to see an invasion
Between
AEW and WWE.
Oh, it will never happen. never will.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon. I think you have more of a chance of seeing maybe like New Japan or Ring of Honor and AEW work together, but I don't see a place where, I mean, AEW isn't against it, but the higher powers of WWE would not. They don't play ball with other federations really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was surprised when Billy Gunn jumped the ship. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I actually met Billy Gunn not too long ago. He's a cool dude.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I met Kevin Nash.
He's huge. Billy Gunn's huge.
I bet.
He's super tall and he's jacked. He's one of the biggest human beings I think I ever seen. Like unexpectedly, he was just like standing there, and I was like, "Holy hell, you're a large individual."
I met Kevin Nash, Gene Snitsky.
Yeah, he's a big dude too. He looks great too.
Yeah, I had to look up. I was like,
he looks better now than he did when he was in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
His workout has been insane.
I met Mick Foley, which was a really cool guy, very cool guy.
Yeah, I've never met him, but I would love to.
Funny story, when I met him before the signing and after the signing and during the signing too, when I was in the line for the signing, it was just him just sitting there waiting for somebody to come up.
You all right?
Excuse me. Yep, just had a little tickle in my throat. But it was funny. He's sitting there rocking back and forth like he would when Mankind would be in him.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the bang bang, and he does that too. And I was like, oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, the Cactus Jack.
What's that?
Yeah, the Cactus Jack. He goes to Knoebels a lot too. He's a big fan of Knoebels.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see him there.
Yeah. If I ever seen him there, though, I don't think I'd bother him. I would just like, oh, there's Mick Foley. Like, I don't know. I'm not the type of person. If I see people in public, I really don't bother them.
Yeah, because I know some of them get offended when you do that.
Yeah, they're like with their family and stuff. I'm not trying to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I met I just recently I don't meet a lot of people because I'm not the type of person who like. I think I've ever done one a handful of times where I went to like an autograph signing, but I can care less if I have your signature. I'm more of a person like, oh, I would like to just shake your hand and say thank you type person. Like I met Jerry Lawler. That was all right. He said some stuff that kind of off-put me. I'm not gonna lie. He came off kind of ignorant in a way. I mean, he was nice, but he was like saying stuff. We'll just say one white guy to another style stuff that I wasn't super fond of. So I was like, cool, man. Oh, wow. And I walked away. Yeah. Then I met the Brooklyn Brawler. He was a nice dude. I got to talk to the Headbangers. They're really, really cool. Talked to Rhino a little bit. He was kind of quiet. He didn't say much, but seemed nice. I got to talk to Devon Dudley a little bit. I think I offended him. Because he has two sons, and his two sons are a tag team. And I'd be like, man, what better way to have a new tag team come up is have they're two boys of one of the greatest tag teams of all time. So I was like, hey man, how your kids doing? Are they in the NXT yet? And he's like, well, they're here and there. They're working on some stuff. They should be in NXT very soon. And I was like, awesome. I said, we'll keep them in NXT. I wouldn't move them up to Raw. Because they don't know how to write for the tag team division up there. And he looked at me and goes, "You do realize I am one of the writers of Raw." Oh, you got a lot of background noise there, man.
Oops, sorry.
That's all right. I say that bleeds through pretty heavy. He's like, I'm one of the lead writers of Raw and the tag team division. I said, well, then why the hell would you? You said, well, then you need to fix things, man, because you have so many talented tag team divisions, and the tag team division is a joke. I said, you have Braun Strowman going out there and beating your entire tag division in one night, multiple times. I said, get your shit together. And he just kind of looked at me, and I walked away from him. Yeah, and then I met Enzo. Enzo was awesome. I was a big fan of. I liked him a lot, but meeting him, he was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. But is there anything else you want to cover or talk about before we let you go here? I don't want to keep you too long.
That's it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the support and watching the show, and I hope you tune into Tornado Tag and give it a shot and let me know what you think about it.
Will do.
Awesome. Well, thank you for calling in, and thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time on Interviews with Everyday People.
Without medication, and I let my thoughts run wild while I still think I got one, and I care too much about my reputation, and I'm tired of sleeping on this floor. Yeah, I'm tired of sleeping on this floor.